Alright. Let's get the obvious out of the way now. Triple's in the title, 3 Claires are on screen. Haha, so funny. With that out of the way, wow, not only are we getting to a Kirby-looking, Kirby-feeling Kirby game, but it's Triple Deluxe? Yeah, obviously I've had some negative things to say about it in the past, but we're not even a week into August, and I'm already ranking the speedrun this low? What gives? If you are completely lost, let me bring you up to speed. Funny pup. Anyway, hi! I'm Klaire Fluffle, which I hope you could tell, and I'm ranking every any percent Kirby speedrun for the month of August. I'll be uploading every single day of the month with videos just like this one, ranking and rambling until every Kirby any percent game is ranked. We talked about Kirby Battle Royale yesterday, which is actually a game that I love, and a speedrun that I really like, so if you want to know more about it, check that video and shoot the whole playlist out. What fun! I love fun, yay! Before we talk more about Triple Deluxe though, I have a relaxing renovation. Deputy Pup, who is upset at me for something I didn't do with another burger, hasn't been able to contact Sheriff Shiva as of this point. This is good news, since it would be bad news for me if she were able to. We can prevent this catastrophe from happening together if you give this video, and as many as you can, a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out in more ways than one, and I appreciate the help. You can even go the extra mile and become a pup train on Patreon or join as a mempup on YouTube, giving you access to perks such as early access to all of these Kirby Month speedrun rankings 2 full days early. Wow. Special thanks go to my head-patting Fluffle fan, Puptrins and Mempups, Freakish Uproar, Lydia Scribe, and Vilafar. I love you all. But okay, enough stalling. Ranked this low is Kirby Triple Deluxe. No lies, no catch, just Kirby. And Puppy. So why is it ranked so low? Well, if you've heard me talk about this game once, you already know what it is. So let's start on the positive end, because if I'm being honest, there is a lot to love about this category. You don't see it as much as you'd hope, since recording 3DS footage is a complete nightmare for more people than any other device you can play a Kirby game on, and honestly, it's a total shame. On the outset, this looks like a fairly standard Kirby speedrun. We haven't talked about a standard Kirby run yet though, so I'll take this chance to go over some basics. Notably, movement is pretty non-standard in these. The simple act of running is rarely, if ever, your best bet. If you don't have access to a copy ability with a dash attack, your best way to zoomy is to slide kick. Ever since Return to Dreamland, this move has been insanely cracked. Just trust me on this one if you're not trusting the footage. That said though, if you can't trust a puppy, I think that's on you. The more traditional speedruns of Kirby usually rely on a small handful of abilities, with one being the clear strongest. Juggling a bunch of abilities at once just isn't ideal when it takes time to get rid of an ability and grab a new one, especially when there's usually a clear best. In Triple Deluxe, there are some very strong abilities, such as Wing, Hammer, and Wheel, but the clear winner in this game is Fire. Fire was already one of the best in Return to Dreamland, but while most abilities were actually made less fun going into Triple Deluxe compared to that game, Fire was made way better and more fun. Its burning dash attack was taken from very good to, oh my god, what did they do to you status, going farther than ever before, faster than ever before, giving you more of a vertical boost than ever before, literally everything that you could want. It can deal damage, it can climb up walls even with strong winds, it can fall down fast. I guess every ability can do that though. It's a really fun ability to play around with, potentially even my personal favorite ability in the game. It may not be for everyone, somehow, but hey, my list, my opinion. Strong puppy logic for once! Yay! Triple Deluxe also has some very interesting levels for Fire to zoom through. Well, it's not the Fire show all the way through, I guess, but still, these levels are more fun to move through quickly than I don't know, not quickly. The theming for levels in this game is very strong, crafted in a way to where even speedrunning them, yeah, it's a blast. The haunted house levels are nearly always a highlight, having wonderfully strange gimmicks and obstacles to maneuver through, sometimes even without an ability. Not being able to use wheel or something is the scariest part of the whole run, fitting for a haunted house full of scares and frights. Of course, there are other great levels too. Ancient pyramids full of dangerous danger and perplexing puzzles. Hey, I should get into advertising. These are pretty good. Anyway, there's that. And other levels with a snowy, cold winter tundra filled with ice and snow coming directly after a calming sunset. There's caves, plains, castles, and more. Oh my. These ideas, similar to a casual playthrough, keep the speedrun fresh throughout, due to how the gameplay has changed throughout. Start to finish, this is definitely a Kirby game, but each level feels distinct and unique. Part of that definitely has to do with one of Triple Deluxe's most defining aspects, definitely the part of the game that I enjoy the most, the 3D warp stars. Basically, Kirby can move between the foreground and background with these, and when implemented well, these are the best parts of the game. You'd figure, as speedrunners of the any percent variety, we'd want to avoid these. If nabbing abilities is a bad call, why would we want to hop on these 3D warp stars unless we have to? Which, yeah, there are points where we have to, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. Shush, stop making puppy look bad. Unlike previous games in the series, where collectibles were entirely optional, Triple Deluxe was the first to say, no, get these collectibles. No, not the stickers, those are just RNG fest. Specifically, get the Sunstones. To clear every world in the game, you need a set amount of Sunstones to clear it. Getting all of them unlocks a special stage, and that takes time that, well, I guess in the most nitpick Nancy or pessimistic puppy aspect, we technically have that time, but we don't need to get these special stages, so all we have to worry about is going after the bare minimum. All Sunstones is its own category for what it's worth, and I think it's really fun. If I'm being honest, I might like it more than any percent, but it does share my biggest issue with that same category, and we'll get to it eventually, don't worry. Routing for Sunstones is what sets Triple Deluxe apart from the rest. Don't get me wrong, other games like Robobot and Forgotten Land have routing for specific collectibles too, but the former is way more action-focused, and the latter is a 3D game, something completely different. Triple Deluxe, at least for the speedrun, is all about keeping a speedy pace going while grabbing the fastest Sunstones possible and taking in the scenery. When the game lets you into the super zone, going zoomy with fire, taking brief detours to grab Sunstones, and finishing levels on record pace, it feels fantastic. Another wonderful speed game in a series as wonderful as Kirby. So what's the catch? I say a lot that Kirby speedruns are super good, they set a high bar, blah blah blah, yakety yakety yak. But this is only day 7 of 31. I have this game ranked, what, like 12th at the bottom or something like that? I can't think that highly of it, right? Well, many of you are probably screaming at the screen something like, Puppy, we get it, just mention the stupid thing that you hate and move on! But many of you may also have no idea what I'm talking about. So, what could be the thing, the one thing that takes a speedrun as enjoyable as this and just grinds it to dirt, making it rank far lower than I would ever have thought to place it? Otherwise, it's hypernova. It's just hypernova. Look, I don't like it in casual playthroughs either, but at least there I can look at specific hypernova bits and maybe get a chuckle. In the best case scenario, mutter under my breath something like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But for any percent, oh, I can't stand these. From the very beginning, they feel like nothing but time wasters. Even the very first one, the very first level, takes a very first... Scratch that last part. Anyway, it takes a run that feels fast, unique, and enjoyable. You're only going off the beginning, by the way. This game leaves a very good first impression. It just takes that fun and grinds it to a halt. Part of this is because, for the sake of speed, you barely wind up using hypernova at all. It's basically only when it's absolutely required, which is a lot less than you'd expect if you use it at every single point. Problem with this is when you get hypernova, which you're always forced to, by the way, and none of the other games have the issue of making you take something, you temporarily lose your ability until the level is over. And cool that you get to keep it, I guess, but all of that creative, unique speed gaming that any and every Fluffle fan gamer in the world can experience and enjoy just poofs away. And it doesn't just stop at the hypernova bits. Triple Deluxe has always kind of had a pacing issue, at least as far as what I thought, and it definitely extends to the rest of the run. Granted, aside from this stupid thing that every living creature with a soul on this planet hates, I don't think it'd be that bad if we just didn't have to deal with hypernova. Sure, the game can be slow, but part of the fun of speedy gaming with the zoomies is that you make these bits faster. You make these bits fun. You can't do that with hypernova, and it just puts me in a sour mood. If it wasn't always required, I still wouldn't like it, but trust me, it would be a much smaller issue. For example, I love the Robobot armor in Robobot a lot, but I understand that, at least for the sake of a speedrun, I wouldn't want it in every area it's available in. Sometimes it's really nice, maybe for clearing out enemies or for getting an easy code cube. Maybe in other areas, I don't want it since I already have jet or something, and movement is the most important part of that level. With only a few exceptions, I'm allowed to make that choice. And not only does that make me feel like I'm genuinely strategizing for a speedrun, which, I mean, I am, it makes it a lot more fun, too. It makes that armor feel so much more fresh and exciting when you do use it. Hypernova just sucks. Yeah, I know, haha, good point. I'm the funniest puppy in the world. Every time I talk about Triple Deluxe, this stupid thing won't leave me alone. It's such a shame that this wound up being the gimmick of the game rather than, say, the 3D Warp Star stuff. That's way more interesting, much less one-dimensional, blah, blah, blah. I've said this so many times in the past, you get it. It just sucks. I really like this game in this category, but the stupid hypernova ruins it every time. Did I make the stupid, oh, it sucks joke again? What can I say? I'm just a silly pup. And now it's time for Fluffle Fans. It's Klaire Fluffle's speedrunning tip of the day. Yay! For Triple Deluxe, let's talk one of my favorite attacks in Fire's kit, Fireball Spin. And by that, I mean Fireball Roll. And by that, I mean Fireball Jump. And by that, I mean Fireball Climb. Why are these 4 different moves? Anyway, what's cool about Fireball Climb is that it gives Fire a really fast method of moving up, but only if it has walls to climb. That said, if it does, it can virtually move through anything, including strong winds. Take this bit, for example, where you're supposed to use these cannons to move up. If you have fire, you can say goodbye to cannon powder and just Fireball Climb up the walls. Even if the winds that are supposed to prevent you from moving up are in effect, you can still almost make it to the very top. Nature can't stop us. You know, it bears repeating, I like this game a lot, a whole lot. I understand why it's a fan favorite in this series. I really do. While I don't think it's perfect, even with the hypernova removed, that's the one thing that holds me back from really loving it. And for what it's worth, I know I'm gonna get comments saying I only hate hypernova because I'm a speedrunner or whatever, but I've not spoken to another Kirby runner who dislikes hypernova at least as much as I do. There are several people who run this game, and most of them seem to like it fine. I guess they can keep liking hypernova while I keep liking other Kirby runs more then, because I've got more videos to work on. I have been Klaire, thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you all around. Bye-bye!